The time has come for 5 red lights. 3 wide through turn 3. Oh, into the wall!
I knew this would happen. I knew they wanted to try something.
Yamara have gotten their wish. A 1-2 for the team. Another victory for VNT to put the cherry on top of their dominance.
Good evening everybody and welcome to Competitive Speed Series. We're in Season 7 and we are here for the Chinese Grand Prix. It is, well, tonight it will be 152 kilometre race distance for the guys out there. It's a 5.4 kilometre circuit, but enough about the pleasantries there. Let's have a look at the standings and seeing how they look at the moment. And Shizou Cedars are looking imperious at the top of the table. It's still Ventari and OMB still fighting away for second place. Ventari having a great run of recent weeks, getting themselves back into second overall, with FRT just languishing a bit at 4th place, still only 15 points behind OMB, and with points all the way down to 15th. We know how quickly things can change here in Competitive Speed Series. And well, that's the top of the table and how it looks there. Look how close it is though for the battle for P5 between RSC, IRT and All Elite Racing Team there, AERT in 7th place. They're not separated by much, and crucially this week both the RSC drivers and the AERT drivers have qualifying pans, so they're starting a little bit further down the grid than they would have wanted in this one. So how will that affect the point structure for them? We'll have to wait and see for this one. Let's just, well, we are going out on track. An RW06 official who's been quite pacey of recent weeks is going to have to start towards the back. Same with Paulos. I'm trying to think the other drivers that are in those teams right now. Epic Vale, I believe, maybe is the other driver for the RSC driver, so for the RSC team. So that's a tough one for them to take all the way to the back, but it's good to see those sort of names in here this evening. Let's go trackside, because it is going to be a very, very tough and interesting track for them to go to. Let's go to number 1, because I believe Matthews, the EVE driver, is going to have a little bit of pressure on them. Actually, all the drivers are going to have pressure on them this evening with all the... Well, I'm trying to... The best way to describe it is this circuit punishes that front left tyre. So you're going to be very much towards the end of the stint nursing the tyre, especially the front left, lifting and coasting into the corners, not to put too much pressure in and too much overheating for those tyres. And that is something that's crucial this evening. Is you can get punctures here. We've seen in time and time again, punctures are very, very strong. Well, I say very strong, very common, I guess, is the word to use. But I'm not going to say that it's definitely going to happen tonight. But the punctures can happen, and we could see it again this evening. The front left will take a hammering. Drivers will want to try and get track position. Key overtaking opportunity is where Matthews is right now at the hairpin of turn actually it's not turn 13, it's turn 14 through that one. But Matthews is just about to start their lap time. Let's see how that one will work out for them, as this long left-hander, which is it's a double right-hander, sorry, not left-hander, double right-hander, which is a major reason why that front left will take a battering. Another one is from turn 12 to 13. Those sort of corners really put the the pressure on and the strain on that front left tyre. It's the same with turn 7 as well. Turn 8 will put pressure on the front right as well, but at the moment it's the majority of the lap puts the pressure on that front left, and it will be highly unlikely that we'll see any sort of soft running in the race, I believe, because they just don't last as long as they need to as they come on through, as Matthias makes a little mistake, as we saw there, into turn 9, as the back end just stepped out a little bit. Not ideal for their running, but down the back straight, and you can already see drivers pulling out the way of everyone else, so they're on the in-laps. But I think Matthias is going to struggle a little bit. Silo is at 130.7, so Silo going quick to start things off with. An invalidation through there. Quantum, another quick driver we've seen time and time again in one lap and race pace, just never always seems to just languish a little bit. 131 to start things off with for them. Inwa then coming towards turn 16, pushes to the left hand side, probably could get away with cutting the corner a little bit more there, but across the line, and it's a 131.5 to start life off for them. Where else can we go on board with? Is Milan on a... I think Milan and Melwin, the VNT driver this evening, along with Roman, coming into turn 14. Let's see how Melwin can produce on this one. Surely can cut. I definitely can cut a little bit more of that inside corner of turn 16 across the line. I say that it's a 130.6 to start life for VNT Melwin, and that's a great lap time to displace Silo, who we know is an incredibly quick driver. Their teammate, though, only managing a 31.2 to start things off with. Phil, then, are they on a lap time? We'll wait to see when they cross the sector split, which is heading towards turn 11. As they head towards that point now, and it may not be a competitive... Well, that IRT Phil probably would want to be a little bit quicker off that second split than they currently are, but let's see how they handle the pressure as they head down the back straight for their first time run. 12 minutes 30 remaining in qualifying, as we will see how things will pan out there as drivers just pop out the way. As a big lock up from the front left there, as we have lost 4 drivers. Just to remind you, they are all serving qualifying bans, so they will start towards the back of the grid. IRT Phil, though, coming across the line. What's it going to be for Phil? It's P11 for the time being. AMS Knights then is just about to start their lap time as they head towards turn 11. As Melwin, fake Tatel letting me know that Melwin is a debutant tonight. Yep, it's not a name that I've seen in competitive speed series in my time here, so it's interesting to see some new drivers coming through, which is nice. And well, it's a good lap time to start things off, especially considering Silo, who's been so dominant in console, has someone to have a fight with that's not Tony, let's say. And here comes AMS Knight then, heading towards turn 1 for their first competitive lap time in this qualifying session. 11 minutes of the session remaining, so plenty of time to get themselves a banker lap on. Schumacher, Frozen, Phil, Indian, and Christian all out on laps to set through as well. And I think actually that's the McLaren popping into the pits from this one, as a little bit of a lock up for Knight there, and the back end just is unsettled through there. That's not ideal for your first lap time. Silo coming out and Tech Brutal also coming out, so the times should tumble a little bit with the track evolving through qualifying, and there's no signs of rain by the looks of things from the clouds anyway, so it's not going to be hampered with that, so it will stay dry and stay heated up to be perfect for soft running through this one. Knight, though, coming through turn 12 and 13, so it's a double right-hander, just like turns 1 and 2, as they head down the start-finish straight. not start finish straight, the back straight towards turn 14. It's looking a little bit off the pace for Knight at the moment, but it has had a little bit of a few squiffy moments and missing the apex by quite a distance, unfortunately, for Knight on that occasion. Will they just decide to jump into the pits and forgo it? Nope. Across. Oh, there's the Haas spinning at the final corner, and that's a big moment. And we could see it in the race as well. And Knight, unfortunately for them, not having the best of swinging through there. Let's go with Tech Brutal then. As they start their second laps from it. As they head on down. Start finish straight to start their second lap. Tech Brutal then. Currently sat P3. The Shizusi, the driver, looking... Well, Tech is an established driver in the console scene, so they will hopefully be pushing Silo just a little bit. And looking pretty solid through the exit of turn 3 and 4 as they head towards turn 6. And Tech at the moment a little bit of slide maybe on that back end as they head through turn 6, but at the moment they're looking relatively smooth, which is what Tech needs to do, as does Silo, to beat Melwin, who's set that lap time to start things off with in competitive speed series, and looking like it could be a very good one indeed. Tech Brutal is 0.2 of a second quicker, enough to displace teammate Silo quite at this moment in time with the way things are going, but obviously Silo is just behind them on track to set a lap time. Tech Brutal heading down the start finish straight. There is a car there, maybe could very well give them slipstream down the start finish straight. Nope, the Haas dives out the way, not wanting to get involved with the battle for pole position this evening, and Tech Brutal won't have any sort of advantage as they head on through. Cuts the inside of 16, which they need to do to perfection. Is it going to be enough for pole? It isn't. It's only enough, just enough to displace Silo. Silo is quicker, but the back end steps on the curb, and that's not ideal for them. It's still enough to take pole position provisionally, though, for the time being. But what can Melwin do in response to Silo's lap time? It's about 0.1 of a second down. As yellow flag, I think that's for Tech Brutal going slowly at turn 5, so nothing to worry about on that one, as I think Matthias goes into P5. That's good for them to start things off with. Agonisingly close to Milan in P4 as we head on down the start finish straight is, well, let's have a look. Let us know in the chat who you think is how the time is going to continue to plummet in this one, whether it's going to be a good one, whether it's going to be to 134. Can Silo or Melwin do it? Melwin across the final corner there, able to cut a little bit more than we've seen anyone else do, and it's across the line for Melwin, but it's not enough to displace Silo, but that's a cracking lap time nonetheless. A 1:30.666, maybe calling in a favour or two somewhere as Roman goes into P4. That's a good lap time there for a better lap time from Roman than before. Schumacher slightly quicker than their previous lap time, nearly 0.1 of a second quicker, which will jump a fair few places right now. It needs a little bit more work for the OMB driver to continue pulling up though. As they head down the straight again, Schumacher will try to, I don't know, maybe a bit too far away from the Kick Sauber ahead of them to do anything, to get any slipstream help through this one. AMS Knight finally set a lap on the board. It's a 1:40.6, but it's enough to ensure they're not going to start behind the qualifying ban, or the drivers with the qualifying ban. Across the curb for Schumacher and across the line, and it's going to be 1:31.1, which jumps them up into P9 for the top being, as Frozen looking a bit slower than they were before. Phil, though, is quicker by 0.1 of a second, enough to displace Inwa to go P12. And let's see what Phil can do. Whether that this lap time will increase exponentially. It has done. That third sector was absolutely torrid in their first run then, so they've thrown themselves up into P5, so that's a great one for them. Simba Rocks one going slowly there. Let's see who else could be on a lap time. Is Indian going quickly or slower? Let's see. The red light is flashing at the back there. Let's see, they have crossed the sector lap time, but I must have missed whether it was up or down though. But let's see what the VMV driver can do. Heading towards turn number 12. They're 1.6 seconds slower, so that's going to not be a lap time to write home about, let's say. But AMS Knight is definitely on a lap time as they head on through. Turn 10 then, towards turn 11. Let's see, 0.169 quicker. They could have probably wanted that Aston Martin to be giving him a little bit of a slipstream down that back straight, but not to be on this occasion. This is much better though from Knight, a little bit more controlled than their previous lap time that we saw through there. But as they head on towards turn 14, DRS flap wide open as they head. And again, another driver missing the apex of 14. It's a tricky one there as they head through. Cutting over turn 16, what sort of lap time is Knight going to produce? It's going to be a 131 something, 131.4, which is enough to go 14th for the time being. But that will be qualifying over and done with for Knight, I think, with 3 minutes 44 remaining. The MAS driver won't be going any higher than that and could be in trouble. And teammate AMS Frozen will be the first driver to set a lap time. And maybe Knight can get back into the pits and out in time. With 3 minutes remaining, it's going to be very, very difficult to get into the pits and out again and set a competitive lap time. But we'll have to wait and see if they can or not. Drivers jumping out of the pit lane in absolute... Well, all of them pretty much are jumping out now, as only a few left in the pits, waiting for the absolute last moment. Here is Frozen will be the first driver to give us any sort of indication what this last runs will be. As I don't know, I think Knight is going to be done for their laps. And that will be over and done with for AMS Knight. However, Frozen, their teammate, will be the first driver to set lap times this evening on this run through. So let's see what Frozen can do as they head round turn 16. A little bit of a messy turn 16. That could cost them a little bit. Knight retiring, knowing they won't get back out again. Heading towards turn 1 and 2 now for Frozen. Nice and tight to the apex, and maybe a bit too much curb there right at turn 2. But 3 and 4 look quite... I was going to say look quite smooth until the back end just steps out here as Silo. 130.5 is the time to beat for everyone else right now, and I suppose after this Frozen lap, we will probably go on board with Silo to see what they can do and whether Melwin can keep touch with them, or whether Tech can do it, or the VNT driver Roman there in 4th place can do it either. But Frozen drops out of the way and decides enough is enough. They can't go any quicker. They've made too many mistakes through that one. So Silo, over to you, and let's see what Silo can do as they head through turn 4, the kink of turn 5 into turn 6, a heavy braking turn 6, and the back end seems to step a little bit, but not too much. It's still smooth from what many would consider the console's best driver, as it doesn't look like that front tyre is on the ground at all. It looks like it just gets lifted up off the ground. That front left is going to take a battering this evening at China. No matter what tyre you put on, whether it's a hard, medium, or well, definitely the soft will take a battering here as well. But around turn 12 and 13, lining themselves up brilliantly does Silo as they head down the back straight for their final qualifying run. Will they beat their time set of a 1:30.5? Let us know in the chat if you think this is going to go quicker. Frozen retires from the session. Their qualifying is over and done with. There is a VNT driver over the line. It's Roman putting themselves back into P4. Here is Silo. Oh, Silo is a 1:30.586 with crashing into the wall. That is very, very interesting. Melwin, though, coming into turn 16. Is it going to be enough to display Silo? It's going to be close. It's not close enough. And Melwin will start the in second place on the front row of the grid. Phil had a cracker of a final sector on their last runs. Can they go any quicker this time around? AMS Knight still 14th, by the way. So even though they set their lap time late, it was enough to produce something. And there goes Indian across the line, displacing Knight to 15th place. Schumacher, though, across turn 16, over the line. And I think that was up until 11th place, maybe? Yeah, 7th place. So we'll have to wait and see how that one will all pan down. Let's look at this. It's Silo from Melwin at the top of the table. Tech and Roman in third and fourth. Fifth to Matthews. Sixth to Milan. Schumacher in seventh. Eighth to David. Quantum in ninth. And 10th to Phil. Frozen, Simbarox 1. Inwa, Indian, Knight and Christian in that order from 11th to 16th. And then qualifying bands for the AERT team and the RSC team. So that's it will be official. Tracer, Epic Veil there in the bottom. Through this one, let's move back to the standing screen and just remind ourselves where and what is happening in this one this evening. And it is a very, very tight one. Shizu Cedars are flying high. However, Vantari OMB are looking very, very strong for that battle for P2, with FRT just maybe dropping off of recent weeks. Then the battle for P5 between RSC, IRT and All Elite Racing Team, AERT, that is very close for P5, but RSC and AERT both have qualifying bans. If IRT can do what they need to, then they can possibly pull ahead and move into P5. Then VMV struggling in 8th place. Giovanni, a driver that's been really good this season, seems to get themselves caught in incidents, unfortunately, and then dropping away. Tatum, they're in 9th with 99 points, and AMS, Alien Motorsports, on 77. Need something in this race. They need Frozen and this is, I can't remember who their other driver was, and we've been on board with them plenty of time this season. This race is Knight, AMS Knight. Really need to pull out of the bag. Unfortunately, their drivers are just getting themselves ready for this one. We shouldn't be too much longer. I would guarantee it's going to be a medium hard or a hard medium strategy here this evening. Silo doesn't have tech directly behind them for company and support. And, well, the drivers hopefully will be getting themselves sorted and pushed soon. But the RSC team and the AERT team are definitely going to have a lot of work on their hands this evening to get themselves back into the swing of the points. But with the points being all the way to 15th place, it does make it a little bit more interesting. But as a reminder, it is 28 laps here this evening, which will be 152-ish kilometres. So plenty of racing to be had this evening. And it's a 5.4 kilometre circuit. So yeah, overtaking definitely into turn 14. You might see a few drivers trying into turn 1 as well. Turn 6 up the inside, if you get a good launch out of turn 4 and turn 3, you could see something there as well. Turn 11, while it's a possibility, drivers probably won't have the grip through it there as well. We will see a few trains heading down that back straight, and we will see a few drivers pulling to the inside to see what they can... Well, I say see what they can do. That's not the words I'm meaning at all. It's to ensure that they don't overheat the tyres and try and keep that front left as cool as possible, because it's going to take an absolute pounding this evening, and that is something they don't... Well, they're going to want to... They're going to need to manage. They're not going to want to manage. They're going to need to manage that front left, or otherwise things will just not work out in their favour this evening. But it should be a typical one-stop strategy, medium to hard, hard to medium, and a few drivers will try a few different things, I'm sure, maybe pitting a lap earlier or maybe going a lap later than the competition. We should see a few overtakes down that back straight as well and into turn 1, especially if they don't take turn 16 correctly. Turn 16 could be a cause for penalties this evening as well, because penalties will have a big say in this one, I'm sure. A few corners to cut here if you're not careful, or go wide at and cause yourself no end of pain. The pit stop, the entry as well, can be a bit deceiving for drivers, especially if you're going into the pits. You may have to brake if the driver ahead is not going into the pits. That could cause a few incidents as well. And famously, we've had drivers try and overtake going into the pits before, especially under safety car rules as well. And the drivers hopefully have readied up and getting ready to go. The lobby, here we are, 3, 4, 5 red lights here in China, and competitive speed series Chinese Grand Prix is a go, and it looks like a pretty good start from, well, none other than Silo as they head towards Melwin. Looks like they've struggled a little bit. Tech Brutal trying to go around the outside, getting a bit of contact there, and that's Roman coming up the inside. That's going to be side by side as they head on through turn 3. Melwin trying to hold up Tech Brutal, but it's not going to be the ability to do so this time around. And Schumacher, one of the only... Oh, good, there's a big lock-up, and the two RSC drivers collide heading into turn 6, and that is a fatal error. You don't hit your teammates, and thankfully it doesn't look like there's damage to them. Medium compound tyres force Epic Vale trying to come through there on Simba Rocks one, and we'll have the inside there. And my goodness me, that was a big collision, but thankfully no damage to either of them. Oh, that is Christian dropping it somewhere. Front wing damage as well in the background. As more front wing damage, I believe, from a McLaren. That might be Indian as they head through turn 12 and 13. Two drivers going sideways. I think there was a little bit of a collision there as well. Oh my goodness me. Let's go to the midfield pack as there's side-by-side action just behind Schumacher, which is Quantum and Matthias. You couldn't see Quantum's car there. As Quantum getting past the EVE driver. So Williams is the OMB team, for those I think I saw in the chat asking which is the Williams team. As just behind, David under pressure from Frozen on the medium compound tyre, trying to get through earlier doors, and Phil fighting away with Imwa, which I believe has front right end plate damage to Imwa, and Silo trying to gap Melwin already as they head on through. That's nearly a contact behind as well. RW06 official squabbling away with Indian there. With front wing, Indian has front wing damage as well. So both for McLaren's front right end plate damage missing. As Silo pulling away from VNT Melwin on lap 2. As Melwin trying to keep up. Let's go on board with Melwin to see what they can do. But Tech Brutal getting there as well. Well, this is going to be an interesting one. Silo, 1.5 second Epic Veil with a 3-second time penalty already. That's not ideal for the Aston Martin driver, as the RSC driver, I should say, as Tech Brutal dispatches of Melwin for P2 for the time being. We're going to see a fair few of that coming into turn 14 this evening. And, well, Silo, my goodness me, has definitely done a very good job there, as David conceding the position to Frozen for the time being, as all the way through 1.4 seconds. I don't know how Silo's done that already, but fair play to the Shizou Cedar driver for this one, as we're in the middle of the pack here. Got a little bit of a, well, that McLaren struggling a little bit for grip, and has RW06 official, who's, well, thrown themselves through the grid a little bit, as Inwa struggling for grip. That front right, thankfully it wasn't on the front left of the front left end plate for that, because that would have just compounded more misery to that front left tyres. As just behind, you see the other VMV driver struggling for grip as well, already on lap 3 of 28. And Paul Christian, 33 seconds away from the rest of the pack, but they were probably hoping for a safety car. Let's go towards the front end of the grid, and Silo has just dropped back a little bit and into the clutches of teammate Melwin, as just behind, that looks like Schumacher and Quantum getting very, very close together. Quantum very quick, as right now just a snake of cars heading through. Quantum again to the inside, but nothing doing on this occasion. And right now, well, Frozen just on the cusp, maybe has lost the DRS, sorry, of the driver ahead, as just behind AMS Knight managing to dispatch of the damaged McLaren of Indian, and official getting past Inwer as well, as there's a queue of cars really trying to get past Indian for P15. Simba Rocks one, definitely. Ooh, look how close that is. And if you had the onboard there, probably Simba Rocks one thought there was a gap, but because of the front end plate damage to the McLaren, their steering inputs probably not as smooth as they would have wanted. Tech and Silo breaking free of Melwin for P3, and my goodness, let's go on board, because it's 1.2 seconds, and the Shizou team, well, it feels right now that it's a Shizou team that is just going to run away with it. The battle is now for P3. It is VNT versus ONB for what is gonna, it feels like second place in the championship as well as third and fourth on the grid. Epic Veil, sorry, losing ground and squabbling, and my goodness, that is Epic Veil around at turn 14, and that's not ideal, as the VNT drivers trying to work together, maybe to keep position, but also to try and catch back up with the Shizou teams up in first and second place. But Melwin struggling overall a little bit now, and this is the problem that we are going to maybe see this evening for the teams, is double stacking. You've got VNT, you've got OMB right next to each other. Can Quantum take advantage of this? Squabbling away actually is Quantum with the second OMB driver of Schumacher. That's very close, and my goodness me, has Quantum managed to make the move up the inside and then the outside? Quantum has, well, that has got to be one of the moves of the season if Quantum has succeeded in that, and that is a very, very solid overtake from Quantum, and that is well, incredible from Quantum and really putting Schumacher under the cosh and getting the move done. And let's see what the rest can do as they head on through. The mediums won't be dying off just yet, but that was just a very, very calculated move as we look just in the foreground. Milan trying to get through as well, but not doing it. It's all good for the time being as Milan trying to hunt down Melwin for P4 right now, and the VNT team may be in a little bit of trouble, but not so much at the moment because Quantum doing a very good job as Melwin under incredible pressure from Milan as they're squabbling away for P4, and Milan has to concede for the time being, but sticking to the diffuser as they head towards turn 6. And this time it's going around the outside of turn 6, but I don't think the grip is going to be there, and that could allow Quantum into the fray. And OMB don't want to lose 2 places to Quantum in this Grand Prix as Paulos and Indian fighting away for P16. But all this squabbling, and probably Roman is trying to just give Melwin a little bit of an assistance. They've just let Shazoo fly away. It's 2.3 seconds as they head on through. And, well, right now, Melwin could be under more pressure as they head down the start-finish straight because they're losing time to their teammate. It's 9/10 of a second. The DRS will assist them to catch back up as they head through, and a little bit of look up the inside. Is there going to be any pressure? It nearly clicks the back end of the teammate. They don't want to be doing that. We've already seen the RSC team hit each other. There's a little bit of fake carbon fibre flying off somewhere or other. Whether it was fully fake or not, let's have a look. Was that front wing damage to the front left of the Williams? Nope, it is still there. That's good for Milan then, as they will have another look up the inside. Seems like turn 2 is an overtaking opportunity for Milan. Very, very calm and collected in that position. And I think it caught Melwin off the last time around. But this time, Melwin was far smarter to it, far wiser as they head into turn 6. Lap 7 of 28. Shazoo Cedars have bolted away from this one. The lead is 2.5 seconds. And Tech Brutal trying to keep to the back end of Silo. It doesn't look like it's working at the moment. Roman in 3rd place, the VNT driver, trying to hold on as they head through this one. As RW06 official in P12, their rise up the grid has dropped away, and Christian has dropped away from this race, unfortunately, retiring in the pits. They've had an absolute nightmare this evening. And has fallen away, unfortunately, and that's a shame for them, especially with Matthias up in 8th place in this one, and could be some good points for them. Could have been some even better points if Christian not had that unfortunate incident earlier on. Still, a little bit of a lull in this one now as Shazoo pull away, and Roman tries to keep Melwin in front of Milan for that 4th place and 5th place as well. Look at the grip there that Milan has over Melwin. It just doesn't seem like a good corner for Melwin, and that's not ideal. As Milan trying to find new ways to put Melwin off. We'll have to see how that will all pan out, because Quantum looks like the driver that really is going to be the one to watch in this battle at the moment, getting very close to the back end of Milan. Maybe Milan just used a bit too much ERS on that to get close to Melwin with no avail, and now having to just focus on defensive a little bit right now. Schumacher's not there to be the rear gunner anymore, as Quantum, lovely dispatch at turn 7 and 8 a few laps ago, sorry, as well. Shazoo, Silo and Tech haven't bolted as far down the road as I thought maybe they once would have done. It's still hovering at 2.5, 2.6 seconds. Are we going to see a change for P3? We are. Melwin maybe finding a little bit of consistency and composure back and swapping places with their teammate Roman for the time being. So that allows, maybe the drop-off from Milan has allowed Melwin just that bit of extra pressure through that one. As where else could we see anything? Oh, just ahead. It looked like there was a possible opportunity for Quantum, but maybe Quantum going a bit wide out of turn 1 into turn 2, allowing that to be seen a little bit. Let's have a look. As Inwa keeping Simba Rocks 1 behind for the time being and losing time to RW06 official there. And Simba Rocks 1 is, even though the damage to Inwa is just struggling to keep up with the VMV driver for the time being, needs to get going a little bit, especially with RW06 official a bit further up. Epic Vale dropping off in the background. We did see them have a spin earlier doors, and there is front wing end plate damage to that RSC car. And that was a very big slide over there at turn 10 for Indian, and that's not ideal for them. Back to the front, no swap between Melwin and Roman. They're still 2.6 seconds. Finally a move from Simba Rocks 1 on Inwa, and has the move done. And just behind, there looks like the Ferrari of Tracer trying to get past Knight. Knight in that final point scoring position this evening as well. Back to the leader. Actually, possibly could have stayed there, as just behind Knight is under incredible pressure from Tracer. Up the inside is the AERT driver. It's going to snick that last point scoring position from AMS, or are they? Knight is fighting back as they head through turn 3 and into turn 4, and they're still, wow, look how close they are. Knight is now under, well, attacking, and oh gosh, surely not going 3 wide into, there's a little bit of contact, there's some more contact between the 3 of them, and Knight getting past, as does Tracer, and Inwa is unfortunately a sitting duck with that damaged tyres, damaged front wing and the tyres to boot. Probably a bit more painful than they would have wanted. Paulos just waiting in the wings behind for the time being. As we go back up to Schumacher, who's still on the medium compounder tyres, holding strong at the moment. We'll probably be seeing them pit in the next probably 3 to 4 laps as they head on towards the back, down the back straight. Any changes in positions in the background. It looks like Phil just moved to the inside to get some clean air a little bit as they head into turn 14 and 15, and everything else Inwa dropping away as well, and back up to the rest of the grid. Yeah, it looks like VNT have managed to find a way at the moment, and I wonder which way. I wonder how Shazoo, VNT, and well, it's just those two really, because Schumacher and Milan had different strategies to start with. Well, what Shazoo and VNT will do here? Will they decide to? They won't double stack. Double stack will be absolutely. Well, it would be murder for them. It would destroy the other drivers' chances. Would Shazoo and maybe VNT pit their second driver first? I think with Shazoo, that's probably the better option. But with VNT, it's a little bit of a world of pain, whatever they do right now, as a little bit of a lock-up we saw from Tech. Tech struggling a little bit for overall pace compared to teammate Silo, as Melwin 2.3 seconds now behind, so catching a little bit to the Shazoo drivers ahead, which bodes well for the rest of the Grand Prix maybe, as we will wait and see. A hop over the curb for turn 16 and the back end steps out. And Shizou extend that lead back to 2.6 seconds as just behind. There is a little bit of a comment. Well, Schumacher dropping away 1.7 seconds as that isn't ideal. Schumacher having a little bit of a moment, dropping behind, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on Matthias to build that that gap back up, because we've got a second break in the train, and that could mean pit stops being a little bit more funky for some of these drivers. Frozen holding those medium compound tyres better than Schumacher, it would appear so far, as David trying to just find a way through the AMS driver as well. As battling still continuing on. It does appear that both the VNT drivers have better pace through that middle sector, but the straight line speed of Shizou just pulls it away. Matthias then could be under pressure from Schumacher as we look down the back straight for lap 12 of 28. Nothing doing in moves on this occasion, and Cimarox can't catch the field as well. It seems like it's petered out for them with their resurgence through it, and Frozen into the pits. A little bit of a, oh goodness me, I thought that was going to be game over for Frozen. Slamming the brakes on, no penalty for them. We should see them head onto a hard set of tyres for the end of the race to try and dispatch Schumacher. They've gone for the undercut, but the pain will be at the end of the race. VNT 2.6 seconds behind the Shizou leading drivers right now, as everything will continue to continue on for the time being, as Milan still can't find a way through the VNT driver. If a move is going to happen, it's going to be from Milan to Roman. I think in this Grand Prix, Matthias is struggling away a little bit, and the medium runner of Schumacher behind struggling right now. As we will see what the pain is going to be for everyone else. Quantum looks to the inside, but nothing doing in this occasion. As again, it looks like the VNT driver is just struggling. Actually, Indian has lost it at turn 9. And is there a problem for there? No pit stops. Oh, Schumacher is into the pits, but let's have a look. Maybe full front. No, there is more front wing damage to the VMV driver, and that's not ideal for them. And that's unfortunate, and that means their race is over and done with. Let's go back into this one. Not ideal, as the battling continuing on for P3, I think is the best way to describe it, because they're falling away again from Shizou. Shizou starting to turn the screw a little bit, maybe save the tyres that little bit more. They've got a 2.8 second gap. It's nearly heading into the 3 seconds, which would mean it would be the best situation that Shizou has been in this race. But there is a full course safety car, because I believe Indian has just careered off into the wall at turn 16, into the pit lane at turn 16. And this could mean everyone double stacks. And, you know, if you're Schumacher, I feel for you with that separate strategy, because it's cost them big time. will drivers go? Mediums will run. They'll be soft. Soft running. They'll be lightly run for 3 laps. But we'll wait and see. Has there been enough of a gap? Oh, this is going to be tight. Is it going to be in front? I think if they're going to fall behind Melwin, they have done. The double stack has worked against them, which isn't ideal. So Melwin has split the Shizou drivers, just like they did at the beginning of the race, which isn't ideal. But through all this, it does mean there's a little bit of a lull, and while drivers just, I don't know, I all of a sudden, Frozen and Schumacher, even though they've been dealt a harsh hand, they're going to have the better tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to take victory this evening. The medium runners are going to be very, very well tiptoey at the end of this Grand Prix. Going to be a struggle for them to keep the temperature. Well, it won't be a trouble to keep the temperatures up for the tyres, but just not overusing them. You would probably want the mediums to. I'm just trying to think the best way. Probably you want the mediums to be on lap 16. But they are going to need to save an awful lot. It's going to be a very, very entertaining end to this one, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gents, because the way the safety car came out, Frozen and Schumacher might have a chance to gain some real big points this evening by jumping up the order towards the end of the race. Into the pits for Inwa then. Let's have a look at this pit stop for the VMV driver. Maybe another set of mediums, another set of hards by the looks of things. No front wing change. They did that change last time out, so it's a fresh set of hard compounder tyres. They're going to come to the back of the grid, which might actually suit them. Epic Veil, the same. So the saving compared to everything else, it seems like these drivers at the back of the grid thought there's nothing to lose, so they've gone for it again. As well, lap 16 of 28 here in China. It's a competitive speed series, and at the moment Silo leads the Grand Prix as there's a change in position on track between Schumacher and Tracer, and I'm not 100% sure why that was going on. I think Tracer just decided, or maybe Schumacher was going slow, or maybe went off the track. I'm not 100% sure what happened there. But Silo still leads this Grand Prix. Not yet had, they've led every lap so far in this one. They've had Tech Brutal for company, who's now back to third place, back to their starting position. Safety car is in this lap, so let us know who you think is going to take victory this evening. That's the positional changes. RW6 official has gone up 8 places. Great start for them. Paulos up 4 as well, and so is AMS Knight, but still plenty of racing to happen. 12 laps here, and right now Silo is pretty much the de facto safety car, as safety car is basically into the pits. When does Silo push? When does the Silo decide, you know what, I'm gonna bolt now? I think from previous Silo's left it quite late, but I don't think they have this time. Gone quite early as they go into turn 16. Tech Brutal trying all over the back of Melwin as we head and start lap 17 of this one as they go into turn 1. In the background, there's a few cars pulling out. I don't think there's any overtaking opportunities there as Melwin goes a little bit wide. We've seen that a fair few times this evening through that, and there is an opportunity for Frozen to get past Simbarock's one, which could be absolutely crucial for AMS and points this evening as Schumacher, Tracer and Paulos behind, all squabbling away, and to the outside goes Tracer on Schumacher. Schumacher goes a little bit deep, and there could be a Ferrari sandwich with the Williams in the middle. Schumacher pushes a little bit too much to the inside, and that allows Tracers through, I think, but Schumacher trying to hold in the inside as they head through turn 8 into turn 9. The Ferrari's still there as well. It's very tight racing between the two of them. A little bit more wheel banging, and off the track goes Schumacher as they keep the position through all that. And just behind, Epic Vale trying to get through on Inwa as well. So the battling is definitely heated up as the hard tyres takes a little bit longer for them to heat up and get back into racing conditions. And the mediums for Tracer looks like they've got the position done on Schumacher, and they've lost a little bit of time to the cars ahead as Schumacher's desperately holding on to that position. More contact between the two of them. This is no love lost between these guys as they head through. Silo, fastest driver on the circuit, but is under pressure from Melwin as they head into lap 18. 11 laps of this one to go as Melwin is now come to life. Milan up into 4th, 5th to Quantum. Roman down to 6th place because of the double stacking. And this is exactly where Silo didn't want to be in, with Melwin all over the back of them and Milan all over the back of their teammate Tech. The race has the race has come alive a little bit because of that safety car. Tech trying to find a way through Melwin as well. It's just not happening. Silo hasn't been able to break away from Melwin as they did at the start of this Grand Prix. Epic Vale and Schumacher dropping and swapping position all the way back there. I'm not 100% sure what's going on between those ones, but there is some squabbling going on, and there's front end plate damage to the William of Schumacher, and the O&B driver is, well, the race could have been for them. Safety car definitely hasn't helped. Back up to Tech Brutal, and oh my goodness, it's around the outside for Tech Brutal. Silo trying to hold Melwin up at certain points of the track as they head through turn 15 towards turn 16, and there's no inside line for Tech Brutal on this occasion. Silo doing everything they can to box Melwin in a little bit to allow Tech Brutal back into 2nd place, but Melwin wise to it at this occasion. Lap 19 of 28. Still plenty of action for these guys to go through, and you don't want to burn out those medium compound tyres too soon, otherwise they'll go pop at the end of the Grand Prix as the back end steps a little bit wildly for Tech Brutal, as Milan now looking to maybe make a little bit of an attack of play at some stage, but they've got to be careful of Quantum, especially when your back end steps out like that, Milan. You don't want that to happen with Quantum behind, because they will find a way through. As for the time being, look at the grip, the confidence difference between Quantum and Milan at that point, as Roman just can't find a way through either. The VNT, the second drivers, it sounds horrible to say, but the second drivers on the track at the moment for VNT and Shizou getting the worst end of that safety car as a 3-second penalty for Schumacher, and Schumacher just dropping off now like a stone. And Silo finally not breaking the DRS, but close to it on this occasion, pulling away wildly, and in the background Quantum trying to find a way through, and it's that Matthias attacking Roman it is, but nothing happening on this occasion, and Phil trying to get through as well. Phil having a little bit of a resurgent race right now. Good to see for if you're an IRT fan as they head on through towards this one. And there's a leaving of the session, unfortunately, for Tracer, and that is unfortunate for them as Matthias is under increasing pressure from Phil. Phil's thrown it up the inside of turn 2. Will have the outside for 3. Will the grip be there for the IRT driver as they head through turn 4? It doesn't look like it will be, but they're going to keep their nose up the inside for 5 and then into 6. Phil surely has the move complete as they head through, but Matthias is keeping it there. But all of a sudden, the gap slowly dies away. And there is Phil up into 7th place. Melwin just keeping in tow with Silo at the moment, and it could all change very, very shortly. But is it going to be over a second when they cross the line? It is under a second, which will help Melwin crucially keep position to Tech Brutal. But look how far Silo can just pull away. It's very, very solid driving from Silo right now. But Tech Brutal just can't back up their teammate like they had done a few laps ago. In the background, some drivers just squabbling a little bit as well. We could see punches this evening. I teased it in qualifying, but that front left for these drivers is going to be absolutely, well, Tracer is not back in the lobby, unfortunately. That's why the issue's there. Yeah, it's going to be a wild end to this one, as Melwin still has well, keeping up with Silo for the time being. Debbie in Competitive Speed Series, where the VNT driver is doing very solid work at the moment as they head towards turn 6. Had a little struggle early doors, but man, the confidence has come through, especially since retaking the position from Roman before the safety car, and they've done a very good job of holding station at the moment, attacking and defending from 2 very accomplished Shazoo drivers in Silo and Tech Brutal. So they're doing a very good job of everything going through at the moment. Milan trying to keep in tow, but are struggling a little bit at the moment. Some solid work through as Silo, again, I don't know if that's enough to be a second over when they cross the line. We'll have to wait and see if the DRS was broken as they head down the back straight for lap 21 to pretty much finish this lap as they head towards. Does that rear wing look open? It does indeed. Tech has a look up the inside, but there's nothing doing on this occasion for the Shazoo Cedar driver, as Tech Brutal again just very close to kissing the diffuser of Melwin as they head towards turn 14. And the battle is definitely heating up. I would love to see the tyre wear for these cars as they head on through. Any other opportunities for overtaking throughout? I don't think there is at the moment. But there is a constant yellow flag. We have lost the safety car, so please excuse that, as the battle continues to rage. I wonder if that clears it. It hasn't, unfortunately. Trying many things to clear it, but it hasn't. But lap 22 of 28, the drivers still squabbling away for position. Factator. Tyre wear a lap for Silo is 2%, while others is 9%. Moving on, let's see what Silo can do to break the gap this time. They have tried breaking it heading into turn 11 and bolting, but it hasn't worked on previous occasions. But will it work on this occasion? As they head towards 14, Melvin was very close, but Melwin has struggled. Oh, has Melwin just clipped the back end of Silo as they head towards turn 14? They could very well have done, and that could be crucial when all things are said and done. Lap 23 of 28, it is really now kicked in, and has Melwin made a big mistake? I can't see any damage to the VNT car, so that's good, but maybe the back end just steps out. But let's see how everyone else is panning through this one. Phil has kept past Mestius and keeping up with Roman, but with the RW06 official now in 8th place, that could be one to watch as well. And also David trying to get past, getting more points for the FRT team. Quantum up in 5th place. That's a good, some good point scoring for this one. Ooh, a step out there from Milan, and Quantum will be licking their lips if that keeps on happening, because that's exactly what they will want to continue seeing, so they can then make a move through on this one, as we will continue to see the battling happening. Let's go back to the leaders. Is there going to be enough? I don't think there is. Again, Melwin struggles at turn 14, which allows Tech to have a little bit of a run at them, but nothing doing on this occasion. But Tech has to be careful because they don't want the front end plate coming off because of a little bit of a touch with the car ahead. Getting very close, looks to the inside, but nothing doing on this occasion, and Milan struggling to keep up. There is a swap. Tech does go up the inside. There is a little bit of room for Melwin to try fight back, but I don't think the grip is going to be there. Surely Tech has the position. It has taken a fair few laps, a lot longer than it did on the first time of asking, back at lap 1 and 2. But Tech Brutal finally getting past Melwin, and Silo has his rear gunner back in place again for the Shizou team, and Melwin, heartbroken for them. Maybe the tyres showing a little bit of wear and tear, which is going to cause a little bit more issue for them as they head on through for this one, this evening. Milan did catch back up as well, and we're coming into the final few throws of qualifying, to be honest. So there's a few more bits to worry about. Can Tech now keep in front of Melwin? That's going to be the crucial thing for Shizou. They want to keep their position. It looks all fine and dandy for the time being, but behind there's a fair few cars going side by side, and could David get past? Could Knight get past as well? There's some squabbling, there's some damage, there's some hits. Oh, there's a lot of contact between them all, and lap 24 of 28 has caused a fair few issues. Matthias is fighting with Knight, absolutely elbows out all of a sudden. I'm not sure what's happened between them, but this could be very messy as they head on through. Oh my goodness me! Frozen is out of the Grand Prix, and it could very well have been caused by their teammate. VSC. Oh, and the cars have had to pretty much come to a standstill. That definitely just happened. Right, now I've got a little bit of composure back. I can't believe I started laughing for that. So, yeah, so lap 25 of 28. Shizou will have to still find a way to defend into it. Milan looks to the inside of Melwin, as nothing happening on this occasion as they head through. There's a few gaps forming, and David has a little bit of a gap there now in P9, as the battle really is heating up at the front end of the grid. 3 laps remaining. It's very close in this one. Yellow flag. Matthias retires from the session with their issue. Definitely a front damage there, which has cost them massively, and could have been on for some really good points for them tonight, and that's a shame. Schumacher down in 17th place with their damage, as Melwin are still squabbling away, as trying to get some attack on Tech, but it's not happening at the moment. Silo pulls to a nice distance away, and Tech will just use everything through that one. Down the back straight for lap 26, and nothing happening for those guys. They're still holding station for the time being. Nothing in the background either for this one. And it's nice and steady at the moment. Well, what will Quantum do? Going wide a little bit there was Melwin. Got to be careful for penalties coming through there, as Phil looks like they're going to get some really good points for the IRT team this evening, just ahead of RW06 official as well. Same with Simba Rocks one against Epic Vale, but Epic Vale is on a set of hard compounder tyres. Could come into fruition. Some good points as squabbling away. Let's go back to that actually, because they are squabbling away and doing a good job of keeping it side by side, and some good racing between the two of them. Nice and tight still, nice and solid. Epic Vale getting past, which is what they needed to do. Frozen leaving the session. Back up on the penultimate lap then to Melwin. This is exactly what VNT need. They need Melwin to get in between Tech Brutal and Shizu Silo, or Shizu Cedar Silo. This is what it's all about, and it's been what it's been all about since that safety car has come out. It took Tech ages to get past Melwin. An absolute solid drive for the VNT driver on this one. Quantum having a look in the background, but nothing doing on this occasion on Milan. David being dispatched by Epic Vale as well. Epic Vale now up into 9th place and doing a good job on those set of hard compounder tyres. Doing it, going into the pits again, seemed absolutely worth it. We're on the final lap there, as Melwin tries, gets close to the back end, but nothing doing. Milan then sees there was a little bit of grip difference between himself and Melwin, and Melwin managing to hold station for the time being. Through turn 4 they go for the last time this evening, and Melwin now sets their sights on defending more than attacking Tech Brutal, I think, as they head into turn 6. Milan doesn't seem like they've got anything in the tank really to attack, as Quantum looks more likely to overtake. Roman dropping away a little bit in the background and dropping maybe into the clutches of Felix if they're not careful. If Roman is having to defend more, maybe with higher tyre deg, they're 0.9 of a second behind. They've got to make sure they're in that DRS, or otherwise they could be a sitting duck for the IRT driver behind. Melwin, though, again trying any which way to keep up, and at the moment it is looking very solid for Shizu, and I don't think there's any way through it. Quantum then goes to the back end of, I think he's too far back. Yeah, Quantum's too far back, unfortunately. Looks to the inside and nothing doing. And at the moment, there might be some more overtaking opportunities, but I don't think there will be. Silo is going to take victory this evening. It hasn't been an absolute canter, but it has been a solid display from both the Shizu drivers, and that is Shizu, a 1-2 in a great way for them. Melwin threw everything at it, did a very good job, but it just wasn't to be in the end for them. A few other drivers going to come across the line now. Knight, for a little bit, at least, will be in P13. And there's Paulos across the line. And see Schumacher cross the line for this one. But what a race that was. And some interesting bits in the middle, but Shizou definitely, or I say in the middle towards the end, Shizou definitely the driver, the team to watch in this one. And, well, very, very solid race from both Tech and they've done a good job through this one. Has Shizou. As we see the celebrations happen. Very good one. Drive of the day has been given to Epic Vale, but I think for myself I would give it to Melwin on their debut for the competitive speed series, but it is Silo from Tech Brutal and Melwin on the podium. Milan in 4th, 5th to Quantum, 6th to Roman, 7th to Phil, 8th to RW06 Official, David in 9th, 10th to Simbarox 1, Epic Vale finished in 11th, 12th to Inwa, Knight in 12th, 13th to Knight in 13th, 14th to Paulos and Tracer in 15th. Schumacher came home in a lonely 16th with non-finishes to the 4 at the bottom there. That is your Chinese Grand Prix over and done with, and what a crazy Chinese Grand Prix, to say the least. That incident at the end, I'm sure, is going to go down in competitive speed series lore or history as a entertaining moment, to say the least. But Shizou Cedar igniters, no one seems to be able to have an answer to Shizou Cedars, sorry, I keep putting the igniters in there. Shizou Cedars, no one seems to have an answer for that at the moment. Let's have a look at the calendar to see where we are going to be next week. We are going to be at Belgium, the Spa-Francorchamps, another historic circuit on the F1 calendar. We've had one which was Silverstone, we've had Spain and Japan, but as historic ones go, Belgium is right up there as one of the most incredible circuits you can be at. It's going to be an absolute insane race, I'm certain of it, at Belgium. And, well, Shizou will be wanting to increase whatever gap they have there. That's nearly all we've got time for, but we do have just a small announcement about the charity event that will be happening in the 25th and 26th of April. To the charity will be Macmillan Cancer Support. All the information will be on the Discord, so sign yourselves up for that one. It will be great to have you there supporting such a great charity. But for now, we will leave you with the knowledge that Shizou Cedars are absolutely confirmed as one of the most impressive teams in console racing at the moment. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.